Okay. So we talked about the insert statement last time. And insert, I mean, it's a pretty standard syntax with the insert statement, and you can create new records in the table using the insert statement. So now today we'll talk about updates, which would be the next topic. So just like inserting into the table, right? You are using the insert. Update allows you to modify the existing information or existing records. The syntax is a little bit different. Um, so the update is a update command, right? This is what you are using, update, and then you have a table name. So for us, if we are updating anything in the patient table, we can use update patient. Patient would be the table name. Then what column you want to update. So that's where you can specify the set statement. So set, then column one, and what is the new value that you want to update it to. And then comma, then you have another column. So if you have 10 columns, maybe in the patient table, let's say you are updating a couple of columns. So you can specify column one, whatever the column, maybe first name, legal first name equals whatever the new value is, then comma, legal last name equals whatever new value is. Then let's say you have third column, you just keep on adding the column and value pair at that point. For update, there is one more additional syntax here, which is a where. So what this where clause or where basically syntax says, if you don't specify the where clause, right? So if you just have first two lines, and if we run the update statement, it will apply to all the records. Now, what the what the where does is allows us to narrow down the records that you want to update. So let's say we want to update the patient for patient ID 5001 only, where the patient ID 5001. So here I can say where patient ID, some column name equals 5001. So it will filter out only those records and update the new values for that. So let me show you quickly what I mean by that. So here I have select star from patient. I'm just running a one simple query. And I have in my tables, I have few records here, starting with the 5000, 5001 and so forth. So let's say I want to update the phone number. Right now, the phone number is blank or null for patient ID 5000. So the way I can specify is I can say update in the table name. So here our table is patient. Then the set, the column that you want to update. So here I want to update phone number column. So set phone is equal whatever the value you want to specify. So phone number I can say 614-485-1190, something like that. So this is a new value, and this is the column I want to update. Now let's say I want to update the age as well at the same time. Maybe I inputted wrong. So if you want to do that, you can just simply add a comma, and then you can add a new new age equals whatever the new value that you want to specify. Now at this point, if I run the query, okay, since we don't have where clause, it will go and update all the records in the table. If you have million records, it will be applied on the million records right now. So all the records will be updated to phone, this particular phone and age. But we want to update only for patient ID 5000. So what we can do is we can apply where clause where patient ID is equal 5000. So it will filter out the records from the table using the where clause first, and then it will apply this logic. So it will update those columns. So at this point, if I run this, it will tell me, okay, there is only one row affected. because we are going against the patient ID, right? So we had only one row affected. Then now let me go and run the select star, see what happened. So now if I run select star, my new information is updated in the table. The age is set and the phone number is set to the new value. Okay.
Right.
Does it make sense? Now,
Yeah.
if I, let's say, if I don't apply, right? Say I'm commenting out, these two dashes are to comment out particular line of code. So when we execute, this line where clause will not be executed because it has two dashes in the front. And as you can see, it's in the green. Green lines are commented out. So if I run this three statements, right, or all four statements. So right now, what will happen? All the records will get the same value. So if I run it here, let me comment out the age because I don't want to mess up my data here.
Mhm.
Um, so let me go and update the phone. So if I run this, so it says 14 records affected. I have 14 records in my table. And if I run it, everybody has the same phone number,
Same phone number.
right? And this is most common error people make. They update the table, but they forgot to put a where clause. And imagine if you have million records, now there is no way to recover the data.
The data, right?
Yeah. So only way you can recover it to roll back or restore the previous backup that you had, and you might lose some data. So this is a very common error people make, and that's why not everybody gets access to the production to update
Right.
these things. Only the database administrator and only few people have access. Okay. Does it make sense? This
Yep.
thing.
It does.
All right. Gotcha. Now let's go a little bit further. Um, Now let's use first name here, right? So what I can do is I can say legal first name. Instead of using the patient ID column, I'm going to match up with the first name is equal John. Now, if I do that, how many records will be updated? You guys can, from in my scenario.
2. Oh,
So I have two, right? One
Yep.
and two. So these two Johns will be updated. Do I have anybody else? Probably not.
No.
So here it will update two. Let's say I add one more condition here. Now you can add multiple condition, okay? Your goal is to identify the right record, right? So if you don't
Mhm.
have know the social security number or patient ID, and let's say you want to update the Jerry Jones. So you can say Jerry, where legal first name is Jerry and legal last name is equal John Jones. So if I do that, it will try to match up all the records with these values. First name with the Jerry and last name with the Jones. So I have only one record with that. So it will only update the first record or basically where Jerry equals Jones. But if I do John Doe, since I have two patients in my database here, these two, it will update both of them, 5006 and 5007. Okay, because it will match with both. So if I run this, so it says two rows affected. And if I check it here, so 5006 and 5007, I have a new phone number, which is 4493. Okay, so you can combine, and we will talk a little bit later how you can combine the conditions. So all it's doing is checking for these column values into particular column. Okay, and then and is say, and when you add an and clause, it says where this name is equal that and this name is that. So both has to match. Then only it will go and update it. So and will be both has to match. Now if I change to or here, and let's say if I do Smith, so how many records will be updated based on what I have here? So I'm talking about John Smith. Let me pull up a bit more. So I got 14 records. So I have one Smith here. I have a second Smith here. I have two Johns here.
Mhm.
Okay. So when you say or what the or clause does, or condition, or operator does, it will match here. Either of them is true. So if this one matches or this one matches, then apply the new phone number. Okay. So and is both has to be true, or meaning one of them has to match basically, or true. Okay. That's the condition wise. So if I run this now, it should tell me 4 rows affected, which it does. And if I run it here, I can clearly see the Smith. I have new phone number, Doe, and John, because the John match in this scenario. So it will update 4493 and so forth. And here, Linda Smith. So Smith match for against the last name, and it updated that record.
So
Okay.
let's say if you have like 10 Smith, it will affect all the 10.
Yeah, all 10s. Yep. So yeah, we don't have 10, but we have only 2 currently. So it will affect those 2 Smith, plus affects 2 Johns, basically. Wherever the first name is John, it will affect. So that's the part. That's the way you can do combination of the condition. If this one is true or this one is true, then update, change the value to new phone number. And I think once we go to the select statement, there are a lot of combinations. We're gonna take a look at it and so forth. But I just want to get you quickly the where clause and different combination you can use. Okay. So let's take a look at this one here. Oops. All right. Okay, so here, there are a few more things you can do. Okay. So here in this one, right? This one is pretty straightforward. This particular number 1 here. So if I do this, run this query, number 1, what would happen based on the logic here? So it's saying update patient table, set age is equal 30, where SSN is equal this one.
All right. So without specifying the exact person or exact, is it?
What were you asking, Samuel?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking like what that command would do.
Yeah. So here, so here, yeah. So did you know what this command will do? If I run this here, let's
Yeah,
say instead of this one, and I'm
yeah,
running it here.
if you should run it, it's going to change all the age to 30 and all the social security numbers to that exact number.
So what you're saying is it will apply the change, basically say it will set the age in all the columns
Yes.
to 30,
Yep.
as well as social security number to this one.
This one. Yep.
Okay. Bismarck, do you have a different thing?
I think yeah, it's going to affect everything because you didn't specify it.
Okay. So let me run this.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm running this one. It says 1 rows affected. Okay. And then if I run select star, so it did change it to 1, basically for 1 record. And we have the 30 here. Now remember, you are specifying the where clause. Okay. So where allows you to narrow down the records that you want to update. So what we are saying is whatever you have column here, so it will check for social security number. So where social security number is this. So it will only update that particular record. So where clause allows you to filter down. Okay, if you don't have where clause, then if I run this, it will update all the
All
record
of
to 30. But
okay.
since we have a where clause here, so it will look for the social security number match for this value. So it will scan this particular social security number column,
Mm,
SSN column, and it will find wherever this value is. And they update the record only to 30 for that record only. And since social security number is unique, right? So you can't have multiple social security number in the
Yeah.
table. So it will always be one as long as you have this condition specified. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Um, Now, Samuel, what you said, if you didn't have the where clause, then
mhm.
it will update. Otherwise, it will always apply the filtering criteria first or where clause,
Okay,
and then update the records.
got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So let's see here. So this particular one. Okay. So now we have multiple conditions here. So I'm just going to have this one. Okay. And let's see what we can do here. So let me run this query first. All right. Now you guys can tell me what it will do for our scenario.
Say it again one more time.
So what would be the outcome here? Um, do you think it will update anything?
Okay, hold on one second.
Yes. Well, I think it would update the well, it will update using the SSN and John. So it will update John's SSN. Am I correct?
Yeah, we have two Johns. So the social will identify the one with the which John he's talking about. I don't know.
Yeah. So which record it will update? Will it update anything? First of all.
Yeah, so update the age for John with the social with that
Okay.
social.
Okay. So it's looking for here, right? We talked about the multiple conditions now. So obviously, first of all, the where clause will look for where is the social security number match here. So it will go and find this one, right? Because this is where this social security number. Then the second condition, it's an and clause. So second condition also has to be true in order to update. Both condition has to be true. Then only it will apply the change. Okay, because of the and clause. So here, legal first name is John for this guy for the same record. So it will find this combination where SSN is equal this and first name is John. Then only it will go and update the age to 30. Let's say if I change put the 34, right? Something like that. If I run it, um, it did actually update. It says one rows affected. So that they did update. But let me come back and run this statement again. So what it will do? So this is the row it updated to 34 because we are updating to 34 here. Um, so it find both condition, both find a record with matching with both column values. Okay, so that's the reason it updated this particular 5006 row number. Okay, now if I had changed to R, what do you think would have updated? How many records it will update?
Um,
If I change the condition to R instead of and. So right now this is what we have.
Okay, so with this one, it will update the first John with the social, with that social.
Okay, so it will update this one, you think?
Yeah, because of the social.
Okay. What about the first name, legal first name?
The legal first name, because of the condition of,
Yeah.
well, it's update of the two Johns. Oh,
So here, these two are matching, right?
yeah.
So, but this one has social security number match. So it will look for either this is true or this is true. Okay. So if this column has this value, then it will update. Or the legal first name column has the John value. Wherever the John is there, it will update. So in our scenario, since we have only two records with two Johns and one social security number, it will still update two because this combination is for the same record. So it will update once, and then the second one where only John is matching.
Okay.
Okay, so it will update that one. So if I run this, it will tell me two records, right? This is what it did. And if I come back to the results here, I will see 34, 34 for both. Okay. All right.
All right.
Why don't you guys try out number 3 and 4 and see what you think? Okay.
Okay.
I like to get you at least a couple of small exercises to do here. And
So,
number 4, you will get an error, but tell me why you are getting an error.
so I was trying the one with the social, only social.
Mhm.
When I ran it, it said 0 rows affected. I don't know.
So do you have this social security number in your table?
In my table, like the original table.
Yeah, here in the table means like, do you have any value, matching value?
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
If you don't, then it will not update, right? Because it try to find the social security number.
Okay.
Otherwise, find the one that you already have in the table.
All right. So you said 3 and 4, right?
Yeah, 3 and 4. Yep.
Yeah, I have it on my table. Oh, okay. Okay. I think there's some.
Yeah, then just copy the one that you have and use that.
Okay.
See if it updates.
Yeah.
Are you getting error?
Not yet. I did the third one. There was no error for that yet.
Okay, but
I'm
then run
trying
the
the fourth.
select star from patient. Yep. See if it really made any change.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna do the third one. Okay.
Yeah. So the third one, I think made a change to the first one, the first user or the first patient.
Hmm.
And then I got an error for the number 4. Okay. Yep.
Do you know why?
Yes, I found out why. The reason is null cannot be put in the statement. So the portion where it says set age is equal to null should be changed
Uh-huh.
to a number.
Do you know why it says it's giving you the error though?
Uh, yes, the reason why it's giving me the error is because we cannot insert null into the columns or the
Okay.
age
So
column.
there is a constraint, right? There is a constraint when we created a table,
Right.
we set a not null constraint for the column, right?
Gotcha.
So that's the reason. Yeah. So that's the reason. I mean, whether you are inserting or updating, the
Mhm.
same constraint will apply to the columns.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Bismarck.
Yeah, I was working on the third one,
Okay.
and then I got an error.
What's the error for the third one? Must be syntax error.
Yeah,
Check your syntax.
it's a syntax error.
Yeah. You can share it too if you want. If you are really stuck with it. But check the syntax, right? It needs to match the proper closing of the quotes, single quotes and stuff.
Okay, it worked.
Okay. All right. So number 4 will give you error, right? At the same time, when you're trying to insert the null. And so that's the reason you will get an error. So it's the same update. You just set it to null instead of age equals to 30. That's all it is. And it will throw you an error. Okay.
Mhm.
Is everybody good?
Yep.
All right. Okay, so let me move on to the delete. It's a simple one, but it's a very dangerous one as well.
Mhm.
So the syntax, right? Um, when you want to remove any records, this is that's where you want to use delete. And this is a simple syntax: delete from whatever table. Now, if you just run this command, let's say delete from patient, then it's gonna wipe out everything.
Everything.
Yep, your table will be empty. Okay, that's where your where clause comes in the picture. Let's say you want to remove specific record. That's where you will say where patient ID equals 5,000. Let's say you want to remove 5,000 patient record. So you have to use the where clause in that case. There is no other way to recover it other than restoring the backup from the backup otherwise. So not many people will get an access in production. Okay, let me just show you here quickly. So here, delete from is a little bit different, right? This one is update. It's not like a from patient, but here delete from patient where. So now I'm specifying the where clause, which record I want to remove. Patient ID is equal 5001. Let's say 5001. So I want to remove this particular Jerry Jones one. Okay, so I can just run that and it will say one record affected. And if I run it again, my 5001 record is deleted from the table. Okay, so that's a very simple syntax.
Okay.
Okay, And if you want, you can run that simple one, but don't run this one. It will wipe out all your records. So you can just run this one, this type of syntax.
So you should do delete from patient.
Yep.
Where? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, patient is gone.
It's gone, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So let's just summarize what we have done so far. Okay. So we have a database, um, which is nothing but our patient registration. Okay. And then we have a table called patient table. Okay. And so far, we created records using insert into or insert statement. We updated records using update. We deleted records using delete statement. Okay. So now we did three activities here: create, modify, and delete. Now, one thing we haven't done is to actually pull the information out of the database. So far, we've been updating or putting the information in using this thing, insert, update, or delete. But if you want to get the information out or read the information, right? That's where we have to use select statement. Okay. And select can get really complex. These are fairly straightforward. Syntax does not change much in the insert, update, and delete, but select can get really complex depending on what you are trying to do with the uh, database read. So we can see it, how we can use the select statement. Okay. So I think the simple one that we already saw is select star, then from whatever table, right? The patient here. Select star from patient. So that's what we've been using so far. But there are more things to the select. Okay, so let's go over the syntax for the select statement, and then we can see what we can do. All right. So, so far we talked about select from table, this one, and that's it. Now you guys already know a little bit about where clause, whether you are updating, inserting, or selecting. The where clause will be available to you from that standpoint to apply what to filter out the records from the table. So when I mean by filter out, right? So let's take a look at the example here. So let's say I want to pull all the information. So I will just simply say select star from patient, whatever the table name. Okay. So it will give me all the columns with all the records from the table. Okay. So that is a very basic syntax. Now let's say if I just want to get the maybe legal first name, last name, and patient ID, 3 columns only. I don't want all 6 columns. So in order to do that, you can specify the individual column names. So patient ID is our column name. Then our column name is legal first name. So I can say legal first name, legal last name. Okay. And from patient does not change. So if I run this, then I'll get only 3 columns in the information. This is what we typically use in the real world. You don't retrieve, because table can be really big. You may have 200 plus columns, and you might be working with only 4 or 5 columns. So you supply the individual column names that you are looking for, and get the information out. So this is the way you can do that. Okay. So that's the one way. Now within that, as we said, so this is a very basic syntax, right? Select, and then you can supply the column list, and then you can have from whatever table. Now let's take a look at one more thing here. Now imagine your table is millions of records, right? So you probably cannot find the information from the table by running just simply select star from patient or select whatever column from patient. At that point, you might have to narrow down your where condition or apply some additional criteria, filter for filtering. So that's where the where condition, similar to what you had for the insert or update or delete, you can say here where legal first name is equal Jerry. Okay. So what will I get back? What I'm expecting back? So anywhere where legal first name is Jerry, return me in my query result. Okay. So if I run this, I'll probably get a single record because my legal first name is Jerry, is for only one record. If I change it to John here, so anywhere I have a first name John, it will be included. So my query will return both records. So here I'm getting legal first name is equal John here. Okay. So it works very similar to what we saw earlier. Okay. Now let's say, let me actually come here and let's me get all the columns. And I'm going to run my query again, only first 2 statements. Okay. So here I'm applying first name is equal John. Now that is, it's not limited to only equals or anything like that. There are several different variations. And I'll talk about that shortly here. But let's say you want to filter out the age, basically. Find all the patient where the age is maybe 40 or greater than 40, something like that. So here I can apply on the age column, and I can apply some mathematical type of greater than, less than, and so forth as well. So here I can say where age is greater than 30. So if I run this, how many records will be included? So if I run, I'm just scanning it manually right now. So 30, right? Greater than 30. So all these are greater than 30. This one is not. So I will not get 5, 50, 10. This 3 again. This one is less than 30. So I will not get that. So I should get, out of 13, I should get 11 records because that's what is matching with the criteria here. Okay. So if I run this, I should get 11 records with the age greater than 30 here. So that is the power of different combinations. You can use different formulas and so forth in your queries here. You can further narrow down. I mean, as I said, I mean, you can mix and match. So this is one condition. And if you apply and the legal first name is equal John. So how many will I get? Again, both have 34. So I'll get both records back because both, when I apply the and, what I'm saying is age is greater than 30, and this is also true for the records in order for them to show up in the results. If I change it to or here, what do you think? What should I get back? So let's come back here. So what it's saying is where age is greater than 30 or legal first name is equal John. So age is greater than 30 is for 11 records. We know that.
Yeah.
Or legal first name is equal John. So it will give me 11 total records. Again, it will kind of like a technically ignores first name is equal John because this John has also greater than 34. Or 30 age is also 34. So if I run this, I should get 11 records here. Okay. So here is this sky is a limit. Okay, for the combinations and so forth. For the queries and that way. What if I want to just get what I want to do additional filtering on the first name? So let's say where legal first name. What I mean to say here is if I want to find out everybody whose legal first name starts with J, something like that. So can I do something like that? Something like this, J? Will it return anything?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so let me run it. Okay, so it does not return me anything here.
Okay.
The reason is that it's looking for legal first name. Does the value does the name is J exact match? So this is more like an exact match.
Okay.
So it has to be J somewhere, J only somewhere in the first name. But if I want to do starts with J or something like that, so I have to change my query a little bit here. There is another clause available. I'm just going to show you for now. And so you have to change it to like and call it a J percentage. Okay, so percentage kind of like a special character. So anything after J, it will ignore basically in the values, in the first name value. So what it says is, give me all the patient where legal first name like J percentage. So whose name starts with J. I don't care what are the next characters are. It could be J only. It could be JA. It could be JB or anything else. Okay. So this is you have to use like clause with that. So if I run this, I am getting everybody whose name starts with J only. So this is a like clause and J, and this is called a wildcard character. Wildcard you can specify after J so that it gives, so it will technically ignore, query will ignore what are the after characters like that. Okay. So let's come back here. So as I said, the query can get really complex and so forth. So let's go through slowly. So I just wanted to show you quickly what are the things you can do. So here we already talked about the filtering down the columns, right? You can specify the column names and so forth. Kind of like something like what we have here. So here you can say pick the columns that you want to include in your query and from what table. If you don't pick that, if you just say star, then it will include all the columns from the query, from the table. Then we also talked about the where clause here. So where clause, importance of the where clause to filter down the records further in your queries. So kind of like in this example, I'm applying on the age greater than 30, right? This is one example we saw. So it will filter down the patient records who are older than 30 years old. That's the way you can look at it. Let's come back here one more. Okay, so there is a one more clause here, which says select star from patient. Now we're gonna talk about different clauses. So there is a one clause is order by. order, order by. Okay. So what if you want to sort the records? You have Jerry, James is here, and so forth. So sometimes your records set or the results are so big, you might want to sort it by for certain on the certain field, so that you can easily find the record. So kind of like here. So let's say here I have different ages, right, coming up in this query. So if I run this, I'm getting 45, 40, 40, 25. What if you want to sort the result so that you can see the lowest age, smaller age at the top, and the highest age at the bottom, something like that. So if you the sorting, you can use it using the order by clause in your query. So order by you can apply. Again, what column you want to sort by, you have to specify. So order by age column, and you have to say ascending or descending order. Ascending means smallest one first, highest one at the bottom. Descending meaning highest age would be at the top, and smaller would be at the bottom. So let's see ascending first, and let's see how it sorts it. So if I do this, I will get 25 age first and then the 70 because of this sorting that I have specified. If I do descending order, DESC, descending clause, then it will 70 would be at the top, 25 would be at the bottom. Okay, so order by is a very powerful feature as well. Let me come back and say ascending here. Okay. Now you can you can apply on any column. It just doesn't have to be age. So if I say legal first name, or let's say legal last name, ascending. So what it's saying is sort the result based on this column. Ascending meaning A to Z. Descending meaning D to Z, D to A. Okay. So ascending, it's alphabetically sorting. So now it will sort by cut C, D, J, S, and W. If I do descending, it will do make the W at the top and C at the bottom. Okay. So this is the power of kind of like order by clause. It's a very simple clause, but you can do that in your queries. That's a very powerful feature in the SQL. Any question on the order by?
No.
Okay,
No.
I'll let you do some exercise a little bit later. Did you have a question, Bismarck?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Oh, there are exercises here. We'll talk about distinct a little bit later down the road. Okay. So
Okay.
let's work through one. I think you already know the first one, so you don't have to do the first one. But let's do 2, 3, 4, 5. Those 4 exercises from page 16 to 17.
All right.
Play around and see if you understand what it's trying to show.
You do the 1 to 5.
2 to 5. One you already know. I mean, you are already running that select star everywhere.
So page 16, the 2 to 5.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
2 to 5. 16, it will go on 17, I think.
Gotcha.
5th one. Did you guys do the fifth one?
Um, not yet.
Okay. No, I'm just curious.
All right.
You guys are still working through?
Yeah, number 3 is
Number
a
3.
bit
Okay.
Actually number 4 is a bit weird.
Sure. So you have select star from patient, order by. Yeah, are you getting a syntax error or
Yeah, I am getting a syntax error. It says incorrect syntax near ACS.
ASC,
Oh,
ascending?
okay.
ASC. I think that's the reason.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, awesome. It worked. It worked for me.
Okay. So that one talks about you can have multiple sorting criterias in your query. So within the legal first name, once it sorts that, then if let's say if it's the same name, legal
Mhm.
first name, but the age is different, then you can sort it by age within that. So highest age within the, like in our example here. Um, let me see if I go to the John Doe, right? So
All right.
this guy is 20, 34 and 34, right?
Mhm.
So let me update it, update the age, update patient, set age is equal 44, where patient ID is equal. So I'm going to change one record so that we can see the sorting result.
Mm. Oh, the patient. Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm updating 5007. Now, if I go here, select star from patient, order by, um, what is it, legal first name,
Mhm.
ascending. So if I do that right now, okay. So right now, 34 and 44, right?
All
So
right.
it's sorted by John Doe is John Doe, right? Where there is nothing there. Let me add a one word clause here where um, legal first name is equal John. So I'm going to pull up only 2 records at this point. Okay, so now I have 2 John records. One has a 34 and 44,
44.
right? So if I apply the sorting criteria by age, if I say right now it's a ascending order, right? Small to
Mhm.
higher.
Small to high. All right.
If I do descending, highest to lowest. So within this sorting, I am applying age sorting. So if I do that, it will be 44 and 34. So it will flip it,
Got it.
44, 34. So if I do again descending, ascending, so it will flip it other way around.
Gotcha.
Yep. So that's something you have to play around. What depending on the requirement, business requirement, and so forth,
Right.
how they want to see the results and so forth. Okay.
Gotcha.
Bismarck, do you have any question?
No, I'm good. That's good.
You good? Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So the number 5, right, is let me just talk about number 5 first, because I don't think we talked earlier. So if I do right now, select star, select suffix, right, from
Mhm.
DBO patient. If I do that, so I'm returning only one row, right?
Right.
But it will return me all the different things here, only the suffix values. Okay. So I have 3 suffix values, right? 3, 2 juniors, 4, 5 senior, junior, and so forth. What if I want to find out only unique values for the suffix field? Okay, so that means I just want to know senior, junior, what are the unique values in this column? So that's where I can apply distinct clause to figure out what are the only unique values in the query result. So if
Okay.
I run that, it will return me all the unique values for that column. So right now I'm applying distinct on suffix column. So it will return me only the unique values. So it's only senior with dot and senior, they are different values. So it will return me unique values. Now I don't know whether whether you have seen the like a drop down list on the web pages. and so forth. But generally they show you like some unique values where you can pick out certain things. Typically they run like a distinct type of query in the backend, and they will return the unique values so that you can pick one of the values from there. But distinct is used for returning the unique values, or identifying the unique values. Okay, and I think it's a very small query. You can run it if you want on your side, um, and just look it up on your as well. Okay. Um, let me move forward. I think you guys will get a chance to work through a couple of more exercises while we are going through. So I
Okay.
think I'll let you guys work through along with that. Okay, so we already talked about the some of the operator in the where clause. So operator is a symbol specifying an action that is performed on one or more expression. So expression is nothing but something equals something. That's expression.
Right.
And it always always results in true or false. So if where column name or legal first name is equal John, so outcome supposed to be either it matches or doesn't match. So if it matches, it will be true and it will be included in the result. If it falls, doesn't match, then it may not be included in the result, depending on whether you are using the and or operator. Okay.
Okay.
But there are several types of operators available. So we have comparison operators, which is something like equal. We already saw the equal sign, right? Something equals something. So kind of like a legal first name is equal John. That's one of the comparison operator. Not equal to, that is another operator, and so forth. So let's take a look at what are the different kinds of operators we can use in the queries to filter out the records, basically. So you have comparison, logical, arithmetic operators. I think we saw some arithmetic one, like age is greater than 30. So that is kind of like applying some logic on the numbers and so forth. So let's take a look at it quickly. So comparison, right? So here something equals something. That's equal to. Then you have greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, not equal to. Again, not equal to has two different symbols. But one is a standard way of writing it. Other one is not a standard way. It says not ISO standard, but they both will work from that standpoint. Not less than, um, not less than. So I'm practically not a big fan of this particular not less than uh, because it doesn't make sense logically. Again, not greater than something, then why would you basically, you can use that, but it's available. But it's not very commonly used. So let's take a look at some of the exercise here. So in our example, right, select star from patient where age is greater than equal to 20. So let me just wipe out. Gonna run select star from patient. Okay. Now I can apply the first query here and see. So here what we are saying is something is greater than equal to. We are applying greater than equal to operator, comparison operator on the age column. So here in our scenario, it will return us probably except 8, it will return all other columns because we are checking against 30. So it will return me 12 records over here. Again, I could have done the same thing. If I do less than 20, if I have to use a less than operator, then it will return me only Linda Smith because she is the only one with ages less than 20. Okay. So here are different combination, less than or equal to, you can use it something like that, or greater than equal to. What it says is age is greater than or equal to. So it will include 20 and more. Okay. Let's do 30 or more since we know there are a couple of records with that. Actually, we don't have 30 records. So let's do 40. So if I do 40 or more, it will include 40 records and above. But if I remove the equal signs, it will include anybody with greater than 40. So it will eliminate 2 more records from this. So it will return only 6 records. So if I go there, 40 is not there anymore. So again, depending on the requirement that you are trying to tackle and the queries, you might have to play around with this greater than, equal to, or less than, and come up with that condition, logical condition, sorry, comparison operators. Here, in this example, okay? So here you can apply the same conditions. Let's come back here. On the alphabet or alphanumeric values as well. So it's not just limited to the numbers only. So legal first name is alphabet, right? It's alphanumeric. So what we are saying is where legal first name is not equal to Eric, if I run this, it will return me all the records. But let's say if I do legal first name is greater than Eric, do you guys think it will work?
Greater than Eric.
Yeah, greater than Eric. Do you think you can apply the greater than clauses on the first name on the alphanumeric values?
Not sure. Oh, well, yes.
Let's see if we get an error, right? So if I run this query, okay, I don't see much difference here. So let me say Jeremy. How about that? See if it does anything different. So it filtered down some records for me. Okay.
Okay.
So what it did is, so we had Jerry, right? J-E-R. Then R is after that, but let's see if we have B. So B comes before Jerry, J, right? So it will filter down anybody that comes before Jeremy. It will evaluate that expression. So it evaluated that and it filtered down certain records. Looks like it eliminated 5 records. So G also comes before that. H also comes before that. So 1, 2, 3, and I believe it eliminated some of these records here. So let's see. So Jerry is there. I'm not sure which other ones are gone. Let's see. Oh, John. John does not come before that, right? Comes after that. Jason. J-A is gone. J-A, H-A, G-A, B-A, and there is one more. Oh, Linda. Yep. L comes before J. Nope, that's L comes after that. Oh, greater than, yeah. So it will keep anybody, it will keep everybody after the J.
Yeah. Okay.
And so forth. So you can filter down. So it will apply on that as well. Okay, on the alphanumeric values as well. But it's sometimes it's tricky. You have to figure out will it make sense to apply and come up with the condition from there. Now this one, obviously this is very straightforward. Anywhere age is not equal to 30, it will return everybody in the result. That's the third one. Okay, so that's kind of like a comparison operator, very straightforward operators, and you can apply on the comparison value. The value you can apply on the columns to check the values and filter down further. Let's take a look at the logical. I think we already took a look at some logical, like and or. Those two ones we already took a look at it. But what it says here, is true if both expressions are true. So if there are multiple conditions, so let's come here. So and, right? So we are talking about condition 1. Let me just put it here. Actually, let's go here in this. Okay, so here, if I say condition 1, condition 2, and the result, okay? You can have as many conditions as you want, okay? So let's say condition 1 is true and condition 2 is false, okay? And we are talking about AND clause. So what would be the result here? If condition 1, kind of like a X age is equal 30 and first name um, or what is that suffix is equal junior. This is assume this is a condition 2, okay, for the records. So if this one is true and this one is false, so what would be my result for you if I use the AND clause between those two conditions?
An error.
It won't error out, but for AND clause, in order to be true, you have to have both condition true in the AND clause. Okay, so in this case, if I'm using AND clause, that means this has to be true and this has to be true. Then only this one will be true. Otherwise, it will always return false.
Yeah.
Okay, false meaning if it's a false, that means the record may not be included in the result. Okay, now if it's true, this first condition, this one is also true because it's AND. So this outcome will be true. So the result will be record will be included. Now, if this one is false, condition 1 is false, and if this one is false, condition 2 is false. Obviously, both are false, so outcome will be false.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if this condition is false, condition 1, condition 2 is true. Again, both has to be true in order for result to be true. So this output will be false. Okay. So this is how you can think it logically. If something is true, both condition has to be true, then only it will true. Otherwise, in all other scenarios, the record will not show up if any of your condition is false, specifically for the AND clause. Now, if I change let's say we are talking about OR clause instead of AND. Okay. So what the OR says, if any condition is true, then it will return true. So it's other way around. If this is true, but this one is false, this one will still return true for the AND clause. If any of them is true, then it will always return true here. Okay, any of them is true, any condition is true, it will return true. If both are false, then this would be false. But again, if any of this true, then it will return true in the for the OR scenario. Okay, so that's the catch. It's the other way around than the AND condition. Now, practically, when we take a look at it, right? So if you look at this one, so what it's saying is where legal first name is equal Eric and legal last name is equal Snyder. If both of them is true, then only include in the result for this thing. If any of them is not matching, then result will not be, we will not include that record in there. So let's see if I come here and instead of Eric, if I say John and let's say Smith. So based on our records here, what do you guys think?
False.
Right, one of them. So it will try to match it up where legal first name is equal John. Okay, so they found John and legal last name is equal Smith. Okay, so try to look for the Smith as well, but here it's a Doe. Both Johns as a last name as Doe. So our result will not return anything because none of both condition doesn't match. Okay. Now if I change it to OR here, at least one of them will match and it will include more records in the result. So here, first record, it matched with John, even though it did not match with Smith. Same with the second one. Third one, the first name did not match with John, but the last name matched with Smith, so it was included. Same thing for the Linda's record. So 4 records it included in the result. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So which means with the end, all the conditions should be true, right?
Yeah. So true meaning is the record there in the table for us.
Okay.
Wherever this legal first name is equal John. Yep. Okay. The record, it found the matching record and it will include, because it's a or condition. If it's an and, that means it has to match with this one and this one. Both has to be true. Then only it will include in the result.
All right.
If it's an end condition, or meaning any of them is true, is written in the result. Okay. Okay. So in the same type of operator, logical operators, okay, and or we have one other operator called between. So let's say if I want to find out, let me run this query here. What if I want to find out patient greater than age 40 and less than age 60? What would be my query? So what I'm trying to say is find all patients whose age is greater than 40 and age is less than 60. So who are older than 40 years old, but younger than 60 or less than 60 years old.
Okay.
So my where condition would be, what would be my where conditions based on that?
Where age
Greater
less
than
than
40,
40. Okay, greater than 40.
right?
Mhm.
And age is less than 60.
60. Okay.
This is what I'm looking for. So I'm comparing between those two ages. So I have to specify separately. Okay, this is one condition. Age is greater than 40 and age is less than 60.
60.
Okay, and if I run this query, I should get at least 4, 44, 45, 55, 55.
Okay.
Now you can write it this way, or you can write it different way, start from DBO or start from patient, where age between 40 and 60.
60.
Okay, so if you write this, let's see if it gives you the same result. See, this one included more.
Mhm.
Between, what the between does, it has the same effect as greater than equal to and
Okay.
less than equal to. Okay, so this is a comparative query. So if I run both queries side by side, we should have the same result for both.
Okay.
6 records, and exactly same number of records. So between, you can use between, but if between will include 40 and 60 into the search result, into the query result. Okay, so it will have same effect as greater than equal to and less than equal to. So in the SQL world, I mean, you can write the same query maybe 5 different ways. Okay, there is no right and wrong way of writing it. Both query will give you the same result, so both
Mhm.
queries are valid.
Okay.
But there are different options available for writing. That's all I wanted to say. So that's the between operator is available for that. I don't think we have this table yet, so that's the reason you probably won't be able to run that. Okay. All right. So I think we already talked about something here. Let me run this query here. Okay. So remember, I spoke about filtering down, where if I just want to find out the legal first name starts with J.
Mhm.
So what do I need to do? Legal first name starts with J.
Okay.
So I cannot write J. It will not return me anything if I run this query.
Is
Okay.
it a percentage?
Because this one is not a valid clause. What I'm trying to do here is trying to use a like operator, which is again more like a comparison type of operator between so forth. But here I'm applying on a column and I'm saying like J, and then I'm applying a wildcard character percent so that it will include all the characters after the J. Uh, so it will find all the patients whose name starts with J, basically. So if I run this, I will have Jerry, Jones, James, all of them are included here. Okay. So this is a call like clause. Let me come back here. And it will look for specified pattern. Okay, specifically used for pattern matching. So here pattern is J and then percent will be the any character after that. What if I do this thing? I put one more percent in the front, one more in the back. So what it will do is it will ignore first characters. It will ignore the, so anywhere there is a J in the name, it will return me the records, basically matching records. So if I run this, if I have anybody with like that, so we don't have anybody that has a J in the middle. Okay. So let me run this A so that we can see it. So here I know A is here, A is here.
So 2.
Um, those two are there, but let's see. Gary is there, right? Gary is there. Linda is here. So I'm expecting to see at least 4 records at this point if I run it.
Okay.
So here I have James. A is at the end. A is a second one character, right? So it will find anywhere there is A in the name, it will return me the result. But in order to do the pattern matching, kind of like what we are doing, you have to use the like operator. It will not work like this. Equals, if you try to do that, it will throw you an, it will not read, well, it does not throw you error, but it will not return anything from that. You have to use like operator with that. Okay. Now percentage is called wildcard. As I said, I think percent, let me come back here. So this is called a wildcard character. Now percent is 1. There is a one more wildcard character which is underscore. Okay. So percent ignores everything, but the underscore will tell you the exact character. So let's say if you are looking for exact pattern. So if I say something like J percent, J underscore SO percent N. So what it will do is, so no matter it's a J, whatever the second character is, as long as the pattern matches J and Sun, right? It will include all the records into the result. So right now we have only JSON with J, A after J and SON matching with this pattern. So it will include that, only one character. This one is very rarely used, this pattern, but percent is a common one, something like this. So let's, hopefully you guys will get some practice on this particular pattern. And not worry about the underscore. But just remember, it's also available for you. Okay. All right. So let me take a look at one more. and I'll let you guys work through some. Okay, so let's come back here. Okay, so let's say if I am looking for records where suffix is equal senior, or suffix is equal junior, or suffix is equal miss, something like that. Okay, so how do I do that? Write my query. So I can write where suffix is equal senior, so I'll get all the seniors, or suffix is equal junior, I'll get all the junior records. Because it's OR condition, any of them is true, it will be included. Or suffix is equal miss, so all three different suffixes will be included in the result because of the OR condition. So if I run this, I will have all the records with junior, miss, and senior. Okay. Now imagine you have a big list. If you want to keep on adding condition, you can certainly do so. So kind of like I do something like senior. Now it will include the senior or suffix is equal senior, this condition as well. So now it will include SR without dot. Now, obviously this one is not maintainable, right? You have to keep on modifying if somebody else adds a new suffix tomorrow and so forth. The simple way, you can simplify this using in clause. What you can do is where suffix in, use the in operator, and you specify the list, whatever values you want to include. So there is an in clause available, in operator, junior. Okay, so you're specifying the list of values, senior, MS, junior, and so forth. It will have the same result. It will return all same 9 records. It has the same effect as OR conditions that you are trying to combine separately in the earlier query. Okay, so this operator is sometimes helpful where you want to have a specified list of values in your where clause, and this is where you can have a suffix or kind of like an in operator. Okay, so that is also available. Now with the in operator, you have not in. So you can do in, that means include only those. When you say not in this list, so include everybody else. So 4, 5, Mr., Mrs., it will include that way. So not goes along with in. Again, it's a negative type of thing. Generally, you don't want to use it, but so you can use the in is most common one that you can use. Okay. Let me come back here. Yep. So not operator is there available. And not operator also applies with not like, right? You can say like and not like here, kind of like what you have here. Same thing, not in. So whatever is not in the list, it will be included in the result. Okay. Any question here? I know I went a little bit. Basically, these operators are kind of like once you start using it in your queries, then it makes more sense. So what I want you guys to do is let's work through this like operator one and the in operator one. Okay. So you have 3 here for the page 20. And then page 21, you have a couple. And then finally the like not operator, not conditions up to here. So page 20 and 21, I guess. Let's work through that here. Starting with this.
Okay.
Is any of you getting error or anything?
Uh, yeah, I think for the number 2
Okay.
of 21.
Page 21. Okay.
Yeah, the find patients whose first name contains S and last name contains J. Um, the in the statement where it says last legal last name like uh colon, or the marks, at the quotation marks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did say it was wrong for some reason.
Did you paste it? Copy paste it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So that's why you will get the error. So
Gotcha.
remove that and put the single quote.
Yep, I
Remove, I
fixed
think.
it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Sometimes it's a copy paste, right? Some characters are not recognized by Word versus SQL differently. Are you guys getting hang of it? I mean, the syntax. Because the more practice you guys will do, I mean, you will get better at the syntax.
Mhm.
So the number 1, I didn't get error for the one. The one went through. This one, yeah.
This one,
Yeah.
yeah. So it will work, right?
Yeah,
But
wait.
do you understand what it's trying to do? Um, Legal first name like S percentage. So anywhere there is a S in the name, first name, it will pull up in the result. So if I run this, so anywhere there is a S in the middle, in the first name,
Mhm.
it will pull up those records, matching records.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. I got error.
Mhm.
Syntax error in the second one. I don't know.
Um,
Okay, look at the P, the last one, the legal last name.
yeah.
Is it?
So if you copy paste it, right, this is where you get the error.
I didn't copy and paste, but I think I changed the sign up there. Okay, I think the sign.
Yeah, it's a single quote. Uh, so if you change it to single quote, it should run.
That's what I did. Okay. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
It worked. Okay, so when I did this one, I got only one row was affected.
Junior and senior, this one.
Yes, I got
Uh,
yeah. I don't know.
let's see. Maybe you don't have many records, but you should have at least few. Junior, senior. Maybe I inserted on my own. That's the reason. Yeah, you depending on what you have in the table. So you run this query, right? First, for only select start from patient and figure out how many juniors and seniors you have, and then those are the only ones supposed to come out. It could be it is possible that you might have only one or two.
I don't have senior in mind. Okay.
Yeah, senior dot, right? You don't have it probably. Um, it needs to match exactly.
Okay, so can I change the sentence and see?
Yeah, you can change the query to
So,
include, right? So if you change to whatever you have, senior, hopefully you will get more results. Or junior. Instead of jr dot, just jr.
mhm.
So depending on your table, how many records you have, and you might get different result for this one.
I don't know. I'm getting some feedback. I don't know which.
Go ahead and share your screen.
No, I mean there's a feedback like a wind blowing from somebody's side.
Oh, maybe it's Samuel. Who knows?
Okay, it's good now.
Yeah, I muted him.
Okay.
Samuel, you should be able to unmute yourself if you need to speak.
Yeah, I think mine worked.
Okay. All right. Samuel, you good?
Yes, I'm good. Mhm.
Okay. All right. I think we are almost there. I think it worked out okay. That's all I wanted to cover for this session. So so you do have one homework portion. Okay. So
Okay.
see if you can spend some time homework session 2. It's a very small exercises, mathematical additions and subtraction type of thing.
Mhm.
Try to run that and see what you get. The mathematical operations. So that's something we left out for the homework.
Right.
And the table creation, you don't have to do that, but if you have time, create maybe one table, demographics or something,
Mhm.
kind of like a similar to what we did with the patient
All right.
and so forth. Yep. Okay. But we will install the full-blown database on Saturday so that you can work through other exercises. So right now we are dealing with one table, but Saturday onwards, we'll be working through additional things. So you will need the complete database. So I'll upload that and we'll work through on Saturday morning.
All right.
Okay. So try to join by 8:55. Okay, on Saturday morning,
Gotcha.
so that we can start on time and basically work through that.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay then. All right. I'll see you guys Saturday.
All right. See you, boss.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.